I just finished the last episode of Game of Thrones last night. What the
Game of Thrones!
So how good was the ending of Game of Thrones? About as good as Bran's legs, broken and useless. The show, known for taking classic archetypes and tropes and upending them, executing subversion to a T, ends like Lord of the Rings. Characters ending somewhat happily ever after, but without any payoff emotionally. With the short amount of time they had to finish the series, it feels like only 20 minutes mattered, and even that was a letdown. After torching all of King's Landing, innocent occupants, Dany gives a speech to rally her troops and say, "Job well done. Congrats, army, you freed King's Landing." And I'm like, from what? Life? Good job. Before that, Grey Worm was executing unarmed soldiers under Dany's orders. This is what breaking the wheel looks like? Each city taken, the next public barbecue? Despite the great acting by Emilia Clarke, I don't buy the character would see this as a positive, even being blinded by seeing the throne. The whole crazed speech she gave Jon felt so reminiscent of Anakin trying to convince Padme, and I love the prequels, but that doesn't work for this show at all. And we've seen it before. I like the narrative thread of Jon always trying to live up to Ned Stark, yet in the end, embodying betrayal he always despised. Now a Queenslayer, much like Jaime Lannister. That could have been great. Kit and Amelia really convinced me of the character's tragic love, but the Jon we know would have stayed honor-bound, or at the least need a lot more time to pull the trigger on Dany. If he's so honor-bound and sees Daenerys can't rule, why not invoke his real name and claim to the throne? Wouldn't that be the ultimate duty over love? And Drogon, the show has never pinned down the magic of dragons and Targaryens. Not only can a dragon sense your bloodline, but they also have awareness from afar when their rider dies. Is he freaking Yoda now? Is this Dragonheart? If Targaryen blood mattered, why didn't he stay subservient to Jon after killing Daenerys? Oh, and dragons have ethics now? What the hell was that burning the throne for? Drogon literally burned a whole city because mommy said Dracarys. But this people chair, he probably never saw before. It has to go. Fuck this chair. Yeah, I get the metaphor, I do. Drogon could still do this, and this could pull off the metaphor, but have him go berserk, have him just spew fire everywhere, having him focus on a certain point makes it seem like clear intent and intellect, and if this is the case, then there's a lot of questions throughout the show if he has this intellect. Yeah, speaking of dragons, they couldn't let us know if dragons produce asexually, so we can have a happy theme, happy thread in our heads knowing that dragons have a chance or not, that they won't go extinct. If you think I'm stupid for wondering this point, just sit back, look in the mirror. How outraged were you about Jon Snow not petting his puppy dog, Ghost, before going to King's Landing? That was a huge uproar. They end up paying it off in the end to make it more gratifying, but a lot of people were pissed at that. And it's like, do you not realize this is a medieval show? You know, dogs, you might, like them, but in this universe, I saw them as tools, or, they have utility. They're not really emotionally invested in, so whatever. Tyrion, he was great to start the show. He was a prisoner for treason after finding his brother and sister dead and giving up the title of Hand. Then he becomes the lead creator after Daenerys is killed, and kind of forms the new hierarchy plans. Okay, but it gets better. He becomes the King's Hand, the Imp, the hero of the Blackwater. Most importantly, though, he becomes mover of chairs. Yep, the finale after 8 years, wastes precious seconds on Tyrion straightening chairs like a 5-year-old in kindergarten. Then the insufferable cunt Sam Tarly becomes Grand Maester. You can fuck right off. This dude has got some of the best plot armor, and it's annoying for me. I get the Revenge of the Nerd in Middle Earth angle to his character, but come on. Like, it would have been a lot more satisfying, I think, even for me not liking him, if you would have front-loaded Gilly saying, "Hey, Sam, I'm pregnant with your baby." And he's probably going to carry on the family name. He's been a man. And then, oh no, they lose all hope. He dies. And, it all has more of an emotional effect. They keep him alive for the silly Monty Python-esque little back and forth shenanigans with the council. And it's like, wow, this is how Game of Thrones is going to end. Grey Worm was another forced character. He's a drone soldier in a drone army. Who cares? For one, these dickless men, the Unsullied, who've been crafted as perfect warriors, just lost their only motivation in life. The Dothraki became unified as a nation and crossed the sea because of Daenerys. I doubt after their slaughter of King's Landing, they would be civil enough to take Jon prisoner and give him trial and whatnot. But whatever. Why does this guy, Grey Worm, get a say in government? He's a foreigner, soon to leave Westeros. Another thing, why would the independent North, with the armies outside the city, just let the King of the North get exiled on the whims of a foreign horde that might start a civil war? That was just made no sense. You have this whole background with these characters, these armies, the politics, and they just threw it all out the window. Like this whole season pretty much after episode 2. Going back to Tyrion, he's going to regret making Bran king. Every time Tyrion says no, Bran will just retort, "I didn't want to be king." And so I'll give you a couple examples. So Tyrion, "No thanks, cheese makes me constipated." Bran, "I didn't want to be king." Tyrion, "No thanks, I don't want to see The Last Jedi." Bran, "I didn't want to be king." You played yourself, Tyrion. Jon ends up resigning in Castle Black in exile with the Night's Watch. What the fuck are you watching? Oh, the wildlings who you made an unheard alliance with to kill the threat the Night's Watch was made for in the first place? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's dumb. There's even a line between Jon and Tyrion in King's Landing where he's like, "You're going to go take the Black with the Night's Watch." And he's like, "There's still a Night's Watch?" It's bad when such a serious show writes a joke like this into the show. That they're so self-aware, like, yeah, this writing's pretty dumb. Let's make a joke of it. They did the same thing in Star Trek 4, possibly my favorite Star Trek, where Bones is like, wait, we gotta go back in time to pick up Wills to bring him forward in time so he can talk to a satellite. That's pretty much the whole plot of the movie, and it's ridiculous. And it's self-aware. And it works humorously, because Star Trek has those moments. Game of Thrones is... Oh, wow. That's an example in and of itself of good versus bad writing. I get that Jon, that he accepts his bastard lie from Ned Stark. He doesn't invoke his dynasty and he just goes north of the wall. But if he's willing to break his vow or penance with Grey Worm and the council to stay at Castle Black, then why not just go back to Winterfell? It's the capital of an independent nation you're king of, and even if you're not going to stay king of the north and you're going to serve your sister queen, you're still, her cousin. You can still be part of the hierarchy. So that just didn't make sense to me. But yeah, the show ends repeatedly playing the iconic theme as you see a white woman take power, Sansa. Her sister Arya, the girl power, kind of mannish acting feminist wet dream, heads her own way, trailblazing to new lands with, a backpack ready like Dora the Explorer. And the powerful white male with generational wealth inheritance in a destiny, he gets sent north to Incel Town, while the handicapped Bran rules the now 6 kingdoms. The ultimate irony of Dany's quest to break the wheel ends with 4 more coming into town, now wheelchair accessible. So thank you, Drogon, for making the throne handicap accessible. Will SJWs and intersectional feminists rejoice that a handicapped involuntary celibate rules all? Or will they cry that a white male has the crown? Look forward to those articles soon. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you'd like to support this channel, consider becoming a patron or buying store merch from the Teespring store. Don't forget to check out the growing list of friends in the Fandom Collective in the description below, and follow me on Twitter @AngusReviews. See you there.